Okay, everybody, good morning again. So glad to be together again in our Cloud ERP live stream. Welcome. And yeah, we are together here to have some fun to discuss very important and serious topics, which is today we are talking about actually the history of, okay, let me go there. The history of ERP transformation. Yeah. So today we want to shed some light on what maybe we have learned through I should say through the decades. Yeah. So I think that's a good sign of intelligence if somebody is actually able to learn from his mistakes. So let us see if we are able to learn from our mistakes, yeah, and if we can count ourselves towards the intelligent. And yeah, it's really funny, I would say. Maybe if somebody tells you, but Frank, what are you talking about? Yeah, now we have a system. We can really here order automatically what we need for our production. Yeah, last week somebody said to me, Frank, we have now a system which we can order automatically for our production. And I said, hey, cool, you arrived at 1980. Yeah, 1980 was the time when was invented the MRP, yeah, material requirement planning, and finally they've arrived there. So only 45 years behind. Congratulations. Okay, so yeah, some are still stuck in history, I should say, yeah, and then they said, yeah, but we also have a web shop, yeah, and I said, okay, congratulations, you arrived at 1990, yeah. So only 35 years behind. Okay, so that is why we may think about what is happening actually in the ERP market, and to learn something from it, and also the recent developments. How do we understand them, and what do we do with them? So join us again at menti.com. So your feedback is always welcome. Yeah, you know already how this works. Menti.com, which you can use this QR code, and then we have a little bit of interaction if you want. And yeah, so or use this number here, 69388157 to join. Yeah, Menti.com, and you can take your time and use that number to join. It's 69388157. And also what you can do, there's a mobile app. So if you are mobile, watching mobile, you can also join and use the app for Menti. And that is also some convenient. And we make some poll, and then we can use that together. So, okay, let's go on. Let's move on. Yeah, so I've brought a picture, and maybe move that a little bit around so it's easier to see. Yeah, so I've brought a picture. Yeah, I've brought a picture because I distinguish between three phases of ERP development, yeah, ERP transformation history, so to say. Yeah. So the first one on the most left side is the classic one, and the second one is the modern, as I call it. Yeah, and the right one, that's the postmodern. So if you if you have a certain love of philosophy or even history or something like this, this might not be completely new to you. Yeah, I've heard this classic phase of history and modern phase of history and postmodern phase of history, and the same could apply to, as we can say, ERP development. So, and let's dive a little bit into all of these. So what is the remarkable phase of classical ERP? So yeah, but maybe before we come to that, you want to make some opinion and tell us what you think. Most companies currently live in which phase of the ERP theory? Are most of them classical? Yeah. Are most of them modern? Or are most of them postmodern? I don't know, maybe it's a little bit difficult to now guess, because we have not yet discussed what I mean by these, but yeah, just what you think, what is your spontaneous opinion, and then you can share that with us and let us know. So as first, so maybe we need some timer here so that we can end this within some certain time frame. Where's this timer function? I always didn't find it, but let us do this in here. I can do this here. Okay, so let's give them 10 seconds again, and then you can share your opinion, what you think about that. Yeah, and maybe we can give that 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 11, 12, 13, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1, 0. So yeah, so maybe we can revisit that later and come back to that. Okay, give some little time. I see somebody is still joined, and let us know what you think about later in the discussion, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so what is the classical implementation? It's ERP mindset. Yeah, classical typical is a consultant coming in your company and say, tell me, and tells you what SAP can do, and then I can also show you what you can do. So it's like, yeah, you have bought SAP, yeah, and SAP predetermines what you can be able to do. Actually, it is the company has to fit to the software, so to say, yeah. And yeah, what is it? It is mainly configuration. Yeah, actually, if you look at the configuration, let me make that a little bit different here. Yeah, so you can still see this wonderful image here, obviously generated by AI, but yeah, why don't use the cool things? Yeah, and it is the consultant is your craftsman. Actually, the consultant does know how to tweak and switch the configurations in your actually in your system. I thought if I show you what actually this configuration looks like, yeah, yeah, it's actually I would say interesting experience, yeah. So it's like tables and columns, and it is very clumsy to understand. So nobody out of their right mind can even understand this, yeah. If they are not trained to, actually, it is some cryptic SAP type of language, yeah, and only the deeply I can show you actually, yeah. So if you want to see that, yeah, here, yeah. So that would be, let me switch that. That would be like a configuration table from SAP S/4HANA, actually, yeah. I must say, yeah. And yeah, it is somewhat EMG, as we say, yeah. So, and then you go into any of these, yeah. You might search here, for example, document type or whatever here. Type here, assign sales document types permitted for sales areas. Who the heck knows what that means actually? Yeah, it is so cryptic. Yeah, what does it mean actually? Yeah, so yeah, of course, if you are an old SAP guy, yeah, working all the day with SAP, and then you do here some new entries. So then you have to select here. What does it mean? Yeah, and then you have this cryptical, yeah, and then the next cryptical, and so on and so on. So it is actually very, very rough. It is rough. Yeah, I should say very rough. And yeah, so actually you have to not only configure this one, but hundreds, if not even sometimes thousands, yeah, of these tables, cryptical tables. Yeah, so that is what you have to do, and that is what, and that is why you have these consultants, yeah, because the consultants know, and you trust the consultant. Okay, you can count here how many these are, and I would say, at least 1,000 or something like this. Yeah, of course, yeah, not everything is really necessary, but it's a job. It's a job. It's not so straightforward actually, and. Yeah, I must say, in SAP Business by Design, we did it a little bit better, because at least there are some questionnaires. Yeah? Maybe I can show you also that one. Let me give you a minute or a moment, and I can load this here. SAP Business by Design. Where do we have it? Yeah. So Business by Design, when we designed this, we said we must make this better, yeah. And actually, we did it somewhat better, but still it is still something to be challenging, yeah. Okay, I've now logged in German. Forgive me, but if we go to configurations. Yeah, here, and then here we have this configuration project, yeah, and if we enter that, that is something different, because you don't have this like table view type of thing. Yeah, it is more like a questionnaire. It is asking your questions. These are actually questions around the topic of what you can understand in business terms. So as this thing is loading, so let's go here and bearbeiten, yeah, and then we can come into this questionnaire, and this was some of the big design challenges that we mastered when we designed Business by Design. It was about how can we not dump all these configuration tables, IMG, to the people, but how can we ask them actual questions, yeah, that they can understand with their right mind, I should say, yeah. It is so here are like the different areas. So it's also sales service. It's similar as that what we have seen here, sales service, yeah. So that at least is similar, yeah, from S/4HANA Cloud. But if we go here, one step deeper, next one, so then it is about questions. I like that a little bit better. Yeah, so I must say. So I am not trying to back on my dear friends at S/4HANA Cloud Configuration, but if you want to learn something, yeah, look at SAP Business by Design and make it like this. This is much better. This is much better configuration. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe in the next release or releases, I don't know. So here we have some of these questions, and we can show these questions. Yeah, all questions here, for example. Yeah. Here, for example. Yeah. what is the question? Service, ja, Kundenpflege, Abwicklung von Serviceanfragen. Hier, for example. Bestimmen Sie bei der Bearbeitung einer Serviceanfrage Garantieansprüche. Ja? For example, if I translate this, if you processing service requests, do you need some guarantee or some, I can translate this, Garantieansprüche, yeah. Translate this here. Do you want to determine warranty claims when processing a service request? Yeah. So that's a clear English question, actually, that you can understand. Yeah, you can say yes, no, yeah, I like it, no, I don't like it. So if you are a normal business person, you can just answer these questions. Yeah. So yes, no, yeah, I don't want it, I want it. Yeah. So that is not so easy if you go to S/4HANA, actually, I must say. Yeah. So I would say in SAP Business by Design, answering these questions, you don't need a consultant. Yeah, you can do it yourself. Actually, some of our customers, they do configuration. A good part they do themselves. Yeah, without consulting actually. Yeah, so some consulting always, of course, but it's always the question: how much consultant do you need? Consulting do you need? Yeah, do you need 5 days? Do you need 50 days? Do you need 500 days? Do you need 5,000 days? Or do you need 50,000 days? That's a big difference, yeah, even in budget. Yeah, so that is something that is easier, yeah, but still, it belongs to, so to say, the old mindset, the classical mindset of ERP. So let us switch back to our overview. Yeah. Okay, I've lost myself. Okay, there we go. So that is still classical mindset, but why is this classical mindset, you say, Frank? Yeah, yeah, that is because it's tweaking the system, yeah, and always if you want something, yeah, I want some new way of calculating the duration of my customer contracts, for example. What do? Yeah, then you run to the consultant, and you ask him, and yeah, he is the one who knows the secret buttons, what to press actually, so that your configuration, your SAP system does what it should do actually, yeah. And it's no like your own. You have the feeling you don't own your own processes actually, yeah. It is the consultant, maybe, I don't know, owns the processes, but I'm not sure if even the consultant would talk about processes. Yeah, maybe the consultant talks about functionalities, yeah, or features and functions actually. So that is, and yeah, so you might say, okay, why is this so bad? Yeah, that's what we have always done, and that's what we are doing also right now, and it's not so bad. It works. Yeah, yeah, okay. It works sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah. For example, I had this discussion. I saw this discussion on LinkedIn. Yeah, somebody was complaining about the Lidl project, and it was in the press actually. Yeah, and the SAP tried to implement SAP. No, Lidl tried to implement SAP. Yeah, and after spending $500 million, no, euro, dollar, I think it was euro, 500 million euro. They found out the Lidl processes. The processes that Lidl wants to have in the future, it doesn't fit to SAP processes. Okay, we can discuss a lot about this, yeah, but let us assume this statement is correct, yeah. So, yeah, some companies may say, yeah, okay, our processes we want to have them differently, like SAP, yeah. Okay, this is everybody's right. That's a free country, and everybody can do what they want, obviously. Yeah, and if that is processes, sometimes they are processes that are also old processes. Yeah, and sometimes the old processes are good, and sometimes the old processes are just old. So sometimes you want to have better processes, but I don't want to discuss this. So let's assume Lidl was right and saying, okay, yeah, our processes don't fit. And what I'm telling here is just my personal opinion from outside of the project, of just what I read in the press. Yeah, so nothing about I wasn't part of that or something like this. It's just my opinion. So now the question I raise is, why do you need 500 million to find out that your processes don't fit to SAP processes? Why do you need 500 million for that? Yeah. So I just wrote into the discussion and said, yeah, well, ever heard of process models? I don't know what I should say. I mean, yeah, that is the old mindset actually. You go into it, you rush into it, you configure your system, yeah, you tweak it, you do something, and after spending lots of money, yeah, lot of money, you find out maybe this process is not so ideal, this process is not so ideal, and actually I'm not telling bullshit here, so excuse me for the word, but I find it all over again and again and again. I find it all over. Yeah, in companies. Yeah, yeah. We have implemented this ERP system. Yeah, but yeah, the processes don't work. Yeah, surprise, surprise. I should say. Yeah, for you, baby. Yeah. So that's why, for example, I should say Lidl, just a guess, yeah. So if they would have had already their own process models, yeah, I think they would have, I don't know, not 500 million, but maybe 5,000 euro, you know, something like this, to find out that the processes don't fit, yeah. And if they don't have their own process models, maybe you want to first create the process models, yeah. You want to model the process model, maybe that cost 50,000 euro or something like this, yeah. If it is quite expensive or extensive, 50,000 euro, and then you can still find out that the processes don't fit. So, in finding out if the processes fit or not, spending 50,000 euro or 500 million is quite a difference. So why do people still do this old mindset? I don't understand it. I mean, it's now already known since some time, I would say, that it is better to do process modeling, actually. But still, I must say, there are some also, yeah, other partners, SAP consultants or whatever, they say, no, we don't do it. No, we don't do it. Just implement the ERP system and everything will be fine. The best processes are in the ERP system. Yeah, you can say this. But then after a while, yeah, I must be careful what I say. So what I want to say is, it's a mixture of, I don't know, maybe people don't know or people don't want to. Yeah, it's always a leaving the comfort zone. It's so comfortable in this configuration here. Yeah, yeah, I know it. I'm the only one who knows it. Yeah, and everybody's asking me and giving me his money. So that's not the right way to do it. And okay, let me say it. It is the right way to do it after you have done the process modeling. Yeah. Of course, you need to configure your system. Yeah. But first clarify the processes. Yeah. Of your company. Clarify how they fit to SAP. That is so-called fit to standard. Yeah. And then configure the system. And don't start a configuration nightmare that lasts for months. But clarify your processes, the workshops, and then after you've clarified the processes, do the configuration. But then the configuration takes days instead of months, or even years. So And yeah, I come to that with the next one. So yeah, I think that that is pretty clear that this configuration is necessary, yeah. But if you are in your, let's say, comfort zone, yeah, and don't think about leaving it, then you belong to the classical way of doing things, yeah. And if you will belong to the classical way of doing things here, in that realm, then the question is, because okay, let's dive a little bit into psychology, because psychology found out what is the sign of intelligence. Yeah? And the sign of intelligence is to model, to be able to model yourself. Yeah, just make you an example. So and then we come to the modern here. So every morning, every morning I grab my coffee. Yeah, and yeah, so I come into the door here of the office. Then I go to the coffee machine. Yeah, and then I press this button, glorious button, and then I get my coffee, and then I go to the desk, yeah, and then I drink it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So actually, that's a process. Yeah, I can think about that process. I can think about. Yeah, so every morning it's a timer event starting at, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something like this. Then I enter the door, then I go to the coffee machine, press the button, and then I drink it. So I can model this as a process, yeah. I can think about that. Yeah? So maybe then one morning I come and the coffee machine is off. So then I have a problem. Yeah, I could switch it on, but I cannot switch it on because then you need the key and I don't have the key. Yeah. So what do? I desperately, I cannot drink any coffee, and then the whole day goes wrong. Yeah. So then I can model. So I can rethink. I can remodel my model. Yeah. I can think about my model. I can think, okay, what alternatives do I have? Yeah. So then I go to the shop nearby. Here, get me some. That's a real example here. Get me some instant coffee, yeah, and then make hot water and make my coffee myself. Yeah, then I have still my coffee. Yeah. So what I have done is I have done a model of myself, yeah, like I'm outside of myself, looking at myself. Yeah, and then I can think about myself, and I can change that what I observe about myself. Yeah, and that is the actual sign of intelligence, yeah, and yeah, people still debate if artificial intelligence will be able to do that. Yeah, we can have another live stream about that. That will be very interesting. But yeah, so we humans, we are able to do that, yeah? And yeah, it's not observable in others. Yeah, like bees. Yeah, they always do this honey bee web in a certain. They build everything. Bienenwaben. How do you translate this? Bienenwaben. Honeycombs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Honeycombs. Bienenwaben. So they build. So here we go. So let me show that. Bees, for example, yeah. They build the honeycombs. How they build the honeycombs? Yeah, forever. Yeah. That's no discussion going on. There's no steering committee of some major bees discussing how they could improve building honeycombs. Yeah, they just build honeycombs. That is why hardwired, so to say. Yeah, they don't think about it. They don't reflect about it. Yeah, they cannot think about that themselves. Yeah, so they can they have a certain way of adapting to the environment. That's true. And by the way, these honeycombs are quite efficient. Yeah, so it's the best efficient way of making maximum volume with minimum, so to say, investment of material. So it's quite good in that way. But they cannot think about themselves. Yeah, and are not able to model themselves. So that is a major difference between actually, yeah, let me go here. No, that's the one. That one here. Yeah, about our classical guy and our modern guy. So, and yeah, already the time is moved on, and that is after 1/2 hour, and let us close in time. So yeah, let's continue tomorrow. Let's discuss tomorrow about the modern mindset, because that has some advantages and some also some limitations and disadvantages, especially in these times. Yeah, and so we have covered the classical one. Tomorrow we will cover the modern one, and maybe the postmodern. Let's see how we progress. So yeah, thank you for joining, and have a great day. Bye.